Welcome back and happy Valentine's Day. I don't know when exactly you were listening to this episode, but we're going to talk about just Valentine's Day in general and especially enjoying it being single still. Now, I will be honest, this is my first Valentine's Day as a newlywed, so I do have a Valentine and I have for the last 4 or 5 years, but I do just want to talk about being single on Valentine's Day because, to be honest, like it never was really like a sad time for me. I feel like even on Valentine's Day, I feel like I did more sometimes with my girlfriends when I was single. And I think it's really easy to get down on yourself or to get down about not having a partner, especially when you're kind of like you're in the phase where you're dating and you really want one and maybe it's just not working. But I want to offer some support and just kind of things that I did, personal experiences. And again, these are things that worked for me. I understand it's totally different for every person. And just as a precursor, don't go around telling your friends like, oh, you'll find your person. Like, it's just not the time. Like, enjoy being single. Well, I love you. Just love yourself. I mean, some of those things are just so corny. And I think too, people start to kind of almost give advice like, oh, it's going to happen when you least expect it. Like when you know, it's just not the right person. Oh, if you wanted to date somebody, you could. Like you don't have to say those things. It's okay to tell your friends like, hey, it's okay to be bummed out that you're single. But sometimes though, I will say the more you just start doing things that serve you, that you feel good about, you are going to naturally attract people that have the same interests that you align with better. And I think sometimes when we try to fit into a certain bubble, and I found this a lot in college, when I tried to be a certain person or a certain way, I didn't attract the right people. When I was going out and just like wanted to have fun and I was drinking and I was at bars all the time, I'd meet guys that were at the bars all the time and they were also drinking and just there to have fun and no one was there to take it serious. I was also in fucking Orange County and I didn't find somebody that I wanted to date. Now, to be honest, I was never really actively looking. Like, I think I just kind of knew that it would happen when it was supposed to. And I'd come off of a really horrible, which I've covered extensively, relationship in high school that I just wanted to be single. Like, I just wanted to enjoy my life and become my own person. And I really enjoyed that period of life. And because I did that, I wanted to find a partner that complemented that, where I still get to be my own person. I still get to go do the things I want to. Teddy would never tell me that I couldn't travel for work or that like I had to be a stay-at-home mom when we decide to have kids or that I need to start having kids ASAP. Like he would just never do that. And I get to be the person I still am in my relationship. But I think you only get there if you understand who that person is. And it was so important to me because I didn't have that in my toxic high school relationship. And it was just so important to me to find that. So as corny as it sounds, and I know I'm probably saying something I just said, like, you don't have to say this to your friends, but like, enjoy being single. Like, don't be so, and I know it's easier said than done, but I just was never on the prowl, like needing a boyfriend. I don't know. I just wasn't. Like, I just enjoyed the phase of life I was in because now I'm married and like, as much as I get to enjoy this period of life, but I'm never going to get to go back and just be single going out with my girlfriends and only responsible for myself. And I don't want that now at this age of my life, but I'm glad that I don't have to wish that I'd had that, or that look back and be like, dang, I wish I wouldn't have been so focused on dating and I just could have enjoyed being single. So I want to just kind of go through personal experiences I've had with like Valentine's Day and then just some little tidbits and pointers to make sure that you're still enjoying it and also just like anything that like I've learned kind of along the way and my experiences being single and just kind of what that looks like. So really quick, I will say I did have one Valentine's Day horror story. And I also think even when you get into a relationship, Valentine's Day is not, you have to kind of like, for me growing up, Valentine's Day was like a bigger deal than any other holiday aside from Christmas. Like Valentine's Day was a huge thing. We got presents, like nice presents. We always had a family dinner, and dating in high school was even weird. Like my parents wanted like Valentine's Day dinner. Like it was a very big deal in my household. So because holidays have always been such a big deal, birthdays, everything, for me, Valentine's Day is a big deal, and it's not even like the gift giving, it's more just the thoughtfulness. And I love a holiday. I love a reason to celebrate and have a theme, and especially as I'm starting to kind of want to stay at home more and not be traveling so much, I'm just really starting to kind of like calm down and enjoy those small things as opposed to always having to be on the road and getting my joy from, the craziness of life. But I don't know, I love a holiday. So I think managing those expectations too with your partner when you do get into a relationship or if you are in one, and communicating like what do you like to do for the holidays? What are kind of like, and even taking turns, like we alternate, like, okay, you come up with the idea this year, or you do the anniversary idea this year, and finding fun ways to celebrate that fit what you both like, not just expecting that your partner is going to know exactly what you want and what they should be doing, or at what level you want them to, if you're going to be giving gifts. I remember my first Valentine's Day with Teddy, and he had written me a card, but he forgot it at home, and he'd come over, like we lived like an hour and a half apart, and he came over after work, and so we didn't have a card. And then I got like all these little gift cards to like favorite places for like little date ideas, and I like prepped this pink Valentine's Day drink. I was wearing pink and white for dinner, and we just like were on different pages. Like I was, again, it's always been a big deal, and we hadn't talked about it. And this was a couple months after we started dating, and I was traveling a lot. So like we also like hadn't even had those kinds of conversations yet, but now like we celebrate together, and we'll do like a little special thing, whether it's just like flowers and a note, or like Teddy will leave me like little sticky notes places. I love thoughtful things and just ways to like spruce up any day, let alone like a fun holiday. So I think having those conversations is really important. Now, a horror story of Valentine's Day. I have been talking to this guy for several months, and he went off to Florida. Now, he'd actually planned this trip for us. We were supposed to go on it a couple weeks after he got back, but he was gone, or it was a week after he got back, because it was at the end of February, I think. Like around like, I want to say like the 20th. So, because I know he was gone for Valentine's Day. He came back for a couple days, and we were just supposed to leave. He never even texted me on Valentine's Day. Like, literally, like, it's not like he had to, like, send flowers or anything, but didn't even, like, acknowledge Valentine's Day. We'd been dating for, like, and we had the whole exclusivity talk, everything, until late at night. And I'll never forget, I went over to my girlfriend Hannah's house, and we just, like, we had champagne, we danced, I think we got, like, snacks and stuff, ordered food, and it was, like, the perfect day. We went for a walk. And I was like, I'm not going to spend this day being sad or like bummed out that this stupid dude couldn't show up for me, which ironically then when he came back, he actually bailed on the trip that he fucking planned. I still went on the trip, but he did not. But I just like, even then, like that was kind of like a worst case scenario where he could just completely didn't even, and even when he texted me, he didn't acknowledge it was Valentine's Day. But like, to me, it was like, I'm not going to sit around waiting for someone who clearly doesn't care enough when I have friends of mine that love me, that like to have fun with me, and I'm going to go celebrate it with them, even if it's just like hanging out at one of our houses, having some champagne, getting food and dancing, and like being just happy that I have love in my life, even if it's not romantic love, I don't know. And I think we put so much importance, and sometimes even like, it's really easy to let those things kind of hit at your self-esteem where, okay, why wouldn't you text me or tell me happy Valentine's Day, or why can't I get the right person or find somebody to date, and it's easy to take it personal, but sometimes it's just, you haven't come across your right person. It shouldn't be that easy to find someone, because the more you know yourself and the more nuanced you are about who you are and really what you want for your future, what your values are, it should take a little time to find the right person. You don't want to just take the first person you're attracted to date, because you have to find someone you're compatible with. Do you want the same things in life? Like for me, I wasn't going to go be with somebody who wanted me to be a traditional stay-at-home wife, and that is for some people, and that's not to poo-poo that. Like that is for some people, it's not for me. I always want to have my own career, no matter what that looks like, and I'm sure there's going to be moments where if we do have kids, like I'm not going to be as involved in my career, but I still want to have it. I still want to have that piece of me. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't. And again, that's for some people. It's not for me. I'm going to make sure that I'm not with somebody that would ever pressure me to do that. And somebody that has a flexible enough career too, to where we could, be partners in parenting, where we don't just want to be complacent in our jobs. We always want to be working to like make a little more. We want to travel. We want to see the world. We want that for our kids if we have them one day. And I think it's so important to get really particular about what you want. And had I not had years of being single, I wouldn't have ever found those things and known what kind of partner I really wanted and needed. And had the trial and error of the guys that were total fucking douchebags and made me cry, made me sad. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to think. Aside from my high school ex-boyfriend, who my identity was wrapped up into him, I don't think I ever cried after a breakup. Maybe, well, with that guy that did ditch me, I, for some reason, kept talking to him for like 6 or 7 months. And I cried once. I remember I had Hannah come over because I was like, I think I'm like sad. It was more just in general. He was just such a fucking loser. And I don't know why I gave him the time of day as long as I did. But then I cried once. And then that next weekend we went out. We had so much fun. Actually, Teddy had come out that weekend to hang out with us. And that's where we kind of hit it off. And I was never like emotionally invested in these people because I would date people knowing that it wasn't going to be anything. And I think it was just more of kind of a hobby and like things to talk about with my girlfriends because I just knew that they weren't the right people. And I knew when the second Teddy came along, I was like, you know what? I know that this is going to be more of a long-term thing. And if we decide to like date each other, it's like, this is the kind of person I want to be with, you know? So enjoy the time you have to just figure out who you are. And the more stress you put on it, the more you're going to be stressed about it. Like your energy and your attention, wherever you put it, that's what you're going to get back. If you put your energy and attention into all the good things that you have and the friends, and you go have a Valentine's Day, you go get the champagne, or you go plan the most bougie dinner with your girlfriends and you get all dressed up and you plan this months in advance, go fucking do that. Like have fun with your girlfriends, do a paint night, do bring your own board night where everybody has their own board or their own color. Like your board's going to be red and yours is going to be pink, and everybody bring, you know, a bunch of food and bring your pajamas or get dressed up. Fuck, like whatever you want to do, romanticize the shit out of it and have fun with it. Because if you create those plans and you know that you're going to go have a good time, you're not going to be focusing on what you don't have. But if you want to sit there and sulk and be sad about what you don't have, like you will feel that. Now, if you're going through a breakup, that's very different, obviously. But still, find those things that are going to make you feel good. Or if what makes you feel good is like getting some fucking pink or red bubble bath shit and what do they call them? Bath bombs. Put one of those things in your fucking bathtub and you want to light a candle, listen to music, whatever the hell you want to do. Make plans for yourself. Make plans and feel good about it and just enjoy the phase of life you're in. And I think we so often, and I used to do this all the time, especially like in high school, where all you want to do is get to the next place. I would look at college students and be like, oh my gosh, they're so old and they're so cool. If I just survive high school, I'll get to college and it'll be good. Then you get to college and it's like, oh my gosh, I built this up to be everything. And it's great. But like, fuck, once I just graduate, then I'm going to feel so much better when I don't have to have, you know, assignments I have to turn in or stupid like cliquey drama anymore because I went to a small private, or like, you know, was it private college? Yeah, whatever. Then you get there and it's like, oh wow, real life hits you right upside the fucking face. And it's like, oh, you know, this isn't like as great as I talked it up to be. But so it's like you set these expectations and you're like escaping the stage of life to get to the next one. Just enjoy the one you're in. And the sooner you do that, the more confidence you build, the more you enjoy your day to day and just romanticize little things about it. Go out with your friends. If you don't want to go out with your friends, like create the best like home environment you can where you just feel really good and find books that you like. Like, I don't know. I just think I loved being single and I love being in a relationship. And I've just chosen to really enjoy those parts of my life because to me, I went into being single intentional. And I didn't find Teddy on a dating app, which is totally fine if you do, but it happened naturally. And I know that everybody says that, but people aren't just going to walk into your life and tap on your shoulder and be like, hey, do you want to date me? I think we're super compatible. And like, maybe that does happen. But you have to be intentional with what you do on a day-to-day basis. Are you somebody that likes to stay in and go work out early in the mornings? Maybe you're going to go find somebody at your workout class, but just be true to yourself. Find those things you like to do. Be intentional with what you do. And like you are going to have to put yourself out there a little bit, and you're going to have the relationships that obviously don't work out, but take the lesson from it. And like remember that it's not that personal sometimes. It feels so personal. But remember, like, do you feel compatible with this person? Do you like this person? Don't just always be worried about if they like you. Be intentional in what you do in the stage of life you're in and don't try to rush through it. Just enjoy it. again, I can't stress how much I loved being single because I just let myself enjoy it. And I don't know. And again, like I think it led me to having like the perfect partner for me. So that's kind of just like my personal experience. And I think that it's really easy to, again, get down on yourself, or like, and I would post the like, posts of, screw dudes, whatever. But like, it doesn't have to be so angry. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know. I just think, again, enjoy this stage of life you're in. But do the self-care, whatever you got to do, find a plan for Valentine's Day, and you're going to find the right person for you. And it is, if you're intentional, you're true to who you are, you will find the right person. And there's going to have to be some effort on your part too. Like, you should put yourself out there. You should, if you want to go on dating apps, go. I use the shit out of dating apps. And honestly, if for anything, I got so many great dating stories from them. Honestly, all my good dating stories are from dating apps. And then the right person happened to walk into my life without one. So you never know how it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen by just feeling sad for yourself. And I know that, again, if you're going through a breakup, and I know that sometimes dating is so hard and it's frustrating, and sometimes it just feels like, okay, am I ever going to find somebody? But just find the confidence and within yourself to like be okay just being single, and know that the more you enjoy the stage of life you're in, and the more you're intentional with what you do, and put yourself out there a little bit, like, you're gonna end up finding the right person. And it may not happen within the time frame you want it to be, which does suck and it's frustrating. And dating these days are not nearly as easy as I feel they used to be. But I think there's also just so many more options out there, so it almost gives us like option anxiety where there's just too much to choose from. And I think, especially in like, I don't know, like with guys too, I think sometimes they feel like, okay, there's a lot of options. There's also like more cheating nowadays. There's all these weird phases of dating, but you'll know when it's right. And sometimes there's not. If you're being intentional, you're enjoying the stage of life, and there's not, maybe you just haven't met the right person yet. It hasn't happened. So you can spend the time being sad, or you can just spend the time being so grateful for the things that you do have and the love you do have in your life, whether that's family, friends, if you have a dog, a cat, like whatever it is. Just like enjoy the stage of life and romanticize that day. Or if you don't want to celebrate, don't celebrate it, but like be intentional about it. And I think that, it's okay to also call your friends and say, hey, I'm kind of sad. Like, can we do something and get the crew together, just to celebrate. So I hope you enjoy your Valentine's Day, whatever that looks like for you. If it is sitting inside, having some self-care, if it is going out to a nice dinner with your friends or celebrating with your partner. Also, just have those conversations. Don't expect people to read your mind. Let them know sometimes how you feel appreciated. And those are conversations I had to have with Teddy at the beginning of our relationship. Like, what makes you feel appreciated? This is what makes me feel appreciated. And now we know those things about each other, and we can make the day special in our own way. And sometimes that means we go out to dinner. Sometimes that means that we, like this year, I have no idea. I know that I leave closely after for a class, and we'll probably just be celebrating in our new house and maybe making dinner together. It does not have to be super crazy. So that's probably what our Valentine's Day will look like. And I hope you have a great one or had a great one. And just remember, enjoy the phase of life you're in. And the more specific you get with who you are, the easier it is to attract the right person. And it shouldn't be easy to just go date anybody, because you want to be very intentional about who you're actually compatible with, not just who you have chemistry with. Thank you guys for sitting through this episode with me, and I will chat with you next time.